major holiday. People just want to make it through a holiday, and then there is,
Release.
yeah,
Acceptance.
yeah, very, very strange. Shabbat Shalom, Nadia Masuda.
5:15.
But Shalom, Moshe and everyone.
Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem. Okay, we have Minyan, and hello there, Ralph. And Shabbat Shalom to you and to Marcy. Let me see. Ruth Ann, you said it was your turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we turn to page 558. And you begin with Ashrei. Are you ready, Ruth Ann? Page 558, please.
I'm ready.
Ashrei, responsibly, please.
Ashrei yeshvei beitecha hallelujah selah.
Susan, would you correspond, please?
Ashrayam Shekachalo, Ashrayam Shadonai Eloha.
Yehilala David, Aramimachalo Hai Hamelech, Rabachashim Chale Olam Ba'ed.
Echol Yom Avachecha, Balashim Chale Olam Va'ed.
Ado Adonai Imhalamed, Beligdala Tawin Cheter.
For the joy of Shabbat Ma'aser, Gvurotecha Yagidu.
Adar Kavod Hodecha, B'divrei Niflotecha Sicha.
Ve'ezuz Naratecha Yomeru, Tuatacha Saprena.
Zecher Rab Tuvacha Bibetzik Tatacha Iranenu.
Anu Berachum Adonai, Eretz Apayim Utochaseh.
Levanai Lako Veracha Mabal Koma Sav.
Yodu Chadonai Kol Ma'asecha, V'chasidecha Yezucha.
Kaved Malchutecha Yemeru, Gavuratecha Yedaberu.
Yehodia Livnei Adam Gevurotav, Uvod Adar Malchuto.
Malchutecha Malchuko Olamim, Memshaltecha B'chodor V'ador.
Omech Adonai L'chol Enuvim, V'zokef L'chol Akafufim.
Ein Nechvelecha Yisaberu, V'yatono Ten Lahem Atochlam B'iteho.
Uteach et Yadecha, V'maskir L'chol Chayrotzon.
Vadik Adonai B'chol Deracha, V'chasid B'chol Masav.
Arov Adonai L'chol Kra'av, L'chol Asher Yikru V'emet.
Ritzon Rav Yosef, Yet Shavatam Yishma V'Yoshiem.
Shomer Adonai et Kol Ohavav, V'yekor Shayim Yashmin.
Tehillah Adonai Edaber Pivi, V'areka Basar Shem Kodsho Le'olam V'ahed.
Anachnu Nivarech Yom, Me'ata v'yad olam, Hallelujah.
V'anachnu nevarech ya, me'ata v'yad olam, hallelujah. Uva l'tzion.
Page 560. 560.
ויבדחו בך ידי שמך, כי לא עטפת דרשך אדוני. אדוני חפץ למען צדקו, יגדיל תורה ויאדיר. יתהדר ויקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
יעמד יברח ירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון ובימיכון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה בזמן קריב יאמרו אמן.
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם עולם עמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי לקודש בריחו לעלמין כל ברכתה ושירתה תשבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בימה ויאמרו אמן.
We rise, Seder Kriyat HaTorah, page 566, Kimitzion.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל. בקדושתו גדלו לאדוני תהיו נרוממה שמו יחדיו לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה התפארת והנצח וההוד כי כה בשמיים ובארץ כי כה בשמיים ובארץ. לך אדוני הממלכה, עד מתנשא לכל ראש. רוממו, רוממו, אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו, והשתחוו לאדם רגליו קדוש הוא. רוממו, רוממו, אדוני אלוהינו, והשתחוו, והשתחוו, להר קודשו, כי קדוש, אדוני אלוהינו. ואתם הדבקים באדוני אלוהיכם, חיים כולכם היום.
May be seated. We turn to the end. We are approaching the end of the book of Exodus. And we are now, the Mishkan has been built, and now we're going to read about the process of serving in the Mishkan. And one of the great symbols of our tradition and our people is the menorah. And more so, the Star of David is a recent symbol that Jews came to identify with. It is the menorah that is found on tombstones and graves, places for Jewish people. And to this day, when you go to the Knesset in Yerushalayim, it is the big, great menorah, which is so symbolic and impressive. Ruth Ann, you'll read the first Aliyah, and Jay, you have your site according to the lists. Will you do the second reading, verse 6 through 9? And Sandy, you'll do the last one, verse 10 through 12, I believe. Okay. Ruth Ann, would you begin us with the bracha for the Torah reading?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen.
Ve'ata titzaveh et b'nei Yisrael v'yichu elecha shemen zayit zach katit lamahor לעלות נר תמיד באוהל מועד מחוץ לפרוכת אשר על העדות יערוך אותו אהרון ובניו מערב עד בוקר לפני אדוני חוקת עולם לדורותם מאת בני ישראל ואתה הקרב אליך את אהרון אחיך ואת בניו מתוך בני ישראל לך אנוכי אהרון נדב אביהו אלעזר ואיתמר בני אהרון ועשית בגדי קודש לאהרון אחיך לכבוד ולתפארת ואתה תדבר אל כל חכמי לב אשר מילאתיו רוח חוכמה ועשו את בגדי אהרון לקדשו לכהנו לי ואלה הבגדים אשר יעשו חושן ואפוד ומעיל וכתונת תשבץ מצנפת ואבנת ועשו בגדי קודש לאהרון אחיך ולבניו לכהנו לי והם יקחו את הזהב ואת התכלת ואת הארגמן ואת תולעת השני ואת השש.
As you read and you hear the details and
What page are we on in the comment?
We're now on page 505.
Thank you.
Chapter 28 will begin. We just finished verse 5, so we'll be starting the next with verse 6.
that's in the Eitz Chaim, correct?
In the Eitz Chaim. In the Hertz Tzutzino, we just finished reading page 339, turning and are now on 340.
Do we need another? Does anybody have another Chumash, Hertz Chumash?
He gave the hurts.
No. Okay. Jeffrey, would you read the English translation, please?
You shall further instruct the Israelites to bring you clear oil of beaten olives for kindling lamps regularly. Aaron and his son shall set them up in the tent of meeting outside the curtain, which is over the ark of the pact, to burn from evening to morning before the Lord. It shall be a due from the Israelites for all time throughout the ages. You shall bring forth your brother Aaron with his sons from among the Israelites to serve me as priests. Aaron, Nadav, Avihu, Elazar, and Itmar, the sons of Aaron. Make sacred vestments for your brother Aaron for dignity and adornment. Next, you shall instruct all who are skillful, whom I have endowed with the gift of skill, to make Aaron's vestments for consecrating him to serve me as priest. These are the vestments they are to make: a breastpiece, an ephod, a robe, a fringed tunic, a headdress, and a sash. They shall make those sacred vestments for your brother Aaron and his sons, for priestly service to me. They therefore shall receive the gold, the blue, the purple and crimson yarns, and the fine liniment. Fine linen, excuse me, not liniment.
We thank you, Jeffrey, indeed. Just an interesting note, in the Second Temple period, when there was no oil of consecration, it was wearing these clothes that was the moment of transition. It was like an oath that set you in place and empowered you. We're going to make a couple of memorial prayers. Pam, before we do that, would you share just a little? I can't read hand signs. Jeffrey, what were we going to say?
I'm Mariv. I'm not right now.
Okay, so it's fine. Just so that you know, the Jewish custom is to recite the blessing at a Torah reading.
Okay.
So
So
whatever
was,
you like, Pamela. It's all
okay.
right.
If you want, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. My mom, Marion Strauss, died, if you can believe it, 5 years ago. And many of you here know her, and many of you, I think we were all saying Kaddish together. So
Right.
sort of a nice reunion. She was an amazing woman and a wonderful mother who, she left Germany when she was 7 on the Kindertransport
Wow.
and was raised by her aunt and uncle who were wonderful, wonderful people, but she never had that love of a mother. And she was an unbelievable mother to my sister and brother and I. And so we miss her every day. And truthfully, between all of us, I think I didn't always appreciate her wisdom and all that she had to offer. But she was a wonderful mom and a wonderful person, very involved in Chizuk Amuno and loved her community.
By the way, Tammy, that's true for all of us. We can't fully appreciate our parents. It takes, it's one of the things I heard from my father. There'll come a day you will understand what I'm saying. Jeffrey, anything you'd add to Pam's?
No, Pammy hit most of the high spots. She had a very, very traumatic and difficult childhood, which I think she kept a lot on the inside, which affected a lot of the things she did later in life. But the one thing she really instilled to all of her siblings was for her kids, that the need for family to be very, very close and to be able to share and celebrate with each other. And she was able to make that happen throughout her whole life. Always had her table set for everybody and expected everybody to be there. And that was her driving force, keeping everybody together. And to that end, she did a wonderful job.
Beautiful. Thank you. What's Mom's Hebrew name, Pammy?
Malka, but Chaim. Chaim Bela.
Bela.
I'm Bela. Name for Bela.
Yes. המלא רחמים שוכן במרומים, אמצעי מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות, ראשים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת מלכה בת חיים ובלה, שהלכה לעולמה בגן עדן תהי מנוחתה. אנא ברחמים, הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך, לעולמי הימוצו, בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוח בשלום המשכבה, ונאמר אמן. Thank you, Pam. Jay, hi Lieber, good Shabbos, welcome, welcome. We're going to read from the second Aliyah on Parshat Tetzaveh. Jeffrey, what page is that on?
We're on page 505 of Eitz Chaim and 340 of Hertz.
And we're on verse 6. And Jay, if you please.
Sure. V'yasu et ha'efod zahav tchelet argaman tolat shani v'sheish mashazar maseh choshev shtei ketefod chovrot yellow shnei kitzotav v'chubar v'cheshev afurato asher alav k'maseh mimenu yeh zahav tchelet argaman v'tolat shani v'sheish mashazar v'lakachta et shtei avnei shoham ufitachta alehem shemot b'nei Yisrael.
Beautiful. As you will hear Jeffrey translate, in addition to the beautiful materials selected and collected in an artistic fashion of the first order, there's also an intersection of language. The names of the tribes of Israel were inscribed on the stones that are on the Choshen. And that's a very important development in our tradition, where we place more and more emphasis on language and writing. Jeffrey, translation, please.
They shall make the ephod of gold, of blue, purple, and crimson yarns, and of fine twisted linen worked into designs. It shall have 2 shoulder pieces attached. They shall be attached at its 2 ends. And the decorated band that is upon it shall be made like it, one piece with it of gold, of blue, purple, and crimson yarns, and of fine twisted linen. Then take 2 lazuli stones and engrave on them the names of the sons of Israel.
Beautiful, thank you. Jay, who do you have your site for today?
So it's for my dad, David, and it's been 10 years.
Wow. I always remember the story you said, how fierce he was and how he practiced the physical therapy of doing the knee bends up against
Yeah.
the wall.
That's right.
Would you share with us something of significance that you found?
Well, it's actually, this past, just recently, we came across some old 8mm films that he took when I was a kid. Someone in the family, found them in the basement, and then someone else had the technology to digitize them. And so we've been having fun seeing it. So there's actually footage. I think it looks like it must have been from a Seder. So I'm named after his father, Jacob, but I don't think we have any pictures of him. So this is one of the first times I actually saw his picture. So it was very, very cool to see that the history, made real. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Was he an immigrant or his parents?
No. So Jacob was the immigrant. They came from Lithuania, in the early 1900s. Yeah.
Wow. Liba, any memories of your father-in-law?
He was very sure of himself. He always knew what was right.
How did you two resolve this?
Sometimes we did not.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's beautiful. I imagine you gave him some path. Or not.
He really appreciated. We had him over for, he lived in Weinberg Park
Right.
They lived in Weinberg Park for many years, and would come over Friday night for Shabbat dinner, and really appreciated Liba making dinner for them. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you, Liba. That's beautiful. No, it's meaningful. Jay, what's Dad's Hebrew name?
So it's David ben Yaakov Vesara. So Yaakov is me. Yeah.
המלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה תחת כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת דוד בן יעקב ושרה, שהלך לעולמו בגן עדן תהי מנוחתו. אנא ברחמים, הסתירהו בסתר כנפיך לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתו. אדוני הוא נחלתו, וינוח בשלום על משכבו, ונאמר אמן. Thank you, Jay and Liba, for sharing beautiful memories. It's really special. We come to the last Kriyah, the Torah. Sandy Bieber, if you would be kind enough. It would be verse 10. Jeffrey, what page is that, please?
506.
You're muted.
Page 506.
Page 506. Sandy Bieber, please.
Shisha mishmotam al ha'even ha'echat v'shemot hashisha hanotarim al ha'even hashenit katoldotam ma'aseh charash even pituche chotam tefatach et shetei havanim al shemot b'nei Yisrael musabot mishpatzot zahav ta'aseh otam v'samta et shetei havanim al kitfot ha'ephod avnei zikaron livnei Yisrael v'nasa Aharon et shmotam lifnei Adonai al shetei katefav lizikaron.
So it's interesting, as you'll hear Jeffrey translate for us, the convergence of plastic material, plastic meaning gold and silver and stone, precious stones, the art of writing and language. And as the conclusion of the reading that Sandy made, it says, Aharon will carry their names before God on his shoulders, lezikaron, as a memorial. And this
There you
Shabbat
go.
is Shabbat Zachor, a Shabbat of memory, and memory comes for us from language and writing, of course. Jeffrey, translation, b'vakasha.
6 of their names on the one stone, and the names of the remaining 6 on the other stone, in the order of their birth. On the 2 stones you shall make seal engravings, the work of a lapidary, of the names of the sons of Israel. Having bordered them with frames of gold, attach the 2 stones to the shoulder pieces of the ephod, as stones for remembrance of the Israelite people, whose names Aaron shall carry upon his 2 shoulder pieces, for remembrance before the Lord.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And again, the convergence of, if you ever get a chance, there's a wonderful coffee table book of the items in the tabernacle. Somebody made actual models and took glorious photo colors, and to actually see it in print is very impressive, very impressive. Question, Maureen, you have your side tonight, I take it.
I can't unmute. Oh, here I am. Yeah, for my my father's mother, my Bubby.
Did you know her?
I did.
Would you tell us a little about her?
Yeah, so Bubby was from the old country in just all sense of the word. She when we weren't there, I think she only spoke Yiddish, but she would speak English to us. And she became a citizen. I think she could only sign her name. I don't think she could write anything else in English, actually.
Wow.
But she was just such a very loving woman. She was from a farm in Poland, and she had such a love of animals that once when my Anne, her youngest daughter, was I don't know if she was maybe doing an experiment in school and there were chickens, and I don't know, she brought them home. So my Bubby just kind of adopted these chickens and took care of them. And when she came to visit us in Poughkeepsie, she actually brought the chicken with her. And we have pictures of the chicken walking around the backyard. So just a very funny memory of her. But yeah, so I wanted to come on her yard side to
Good
Minhah.
for you. Good for you. How old was she when she came to America?
She was in her teens. She and my Zadie were not married until they came here. I think she came first, and I don't know, the story is that he followed her, but we don't really know. So.
And they lived in Poughkeepsie?
No, they were in Brooklyn for well, I think he was on the Lower East Side when he first came. We're actually just starting to do some kind of family history kind of things. And we were looking at the old New York Census information. So just at the beginning, but I think of course he came, was living in the Lower East Side and then moved to Brooklyn. So they spent most of their married years, my dad's family years in Brooklyn.
Beautiful. Thank you for all of that. And when you get more information, please come and share with us. We'd love to know. What is her Hebrew name and her parents?
Her Hebrew name is Leah. I believe her father was David, and her mother Malka.
Did she leave her parents in Poland?
Her mother actually died when she was young, and I don't think she got along with the stepmother, so she was leaving kind of like not a great family life there when she came.
All right, at least she came to something better. Leah bat David v'Malka. How old was she when she died?
I don't know, she's probably in her 90s, like 92 or something.
That's nice. Thank you. מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, אמצעי מנוחה נכונה, תחת כנפי השכינה במעלות, קדושים וטהורים, כזרוע הרקיע מזהירים את נשמת לאה בת דוד ומלכה, שהלכה לעולמה בגן עדן תהי מנוחתה. אנו ברחמים הסתיריה בסתר כנפיך לעולמי מוצרו, בצרור החיים את נשמתה. אדוני הוא נחלתה, ותנוע בשלום המשכבה ונאמר אמן. Thank you, Maureen. Just to think that names, as they're inscribed in our hearts, and we bring them to God for remembrance. And so are we. And we say a good Shabbos to Phil Nechamovich. Phil, it is an honor to have you with us, an honor to see you. And your presence is a blessing. Thank you. Thank you, Phil. It's a wonderful thing to see you. We continue with the Minhah service. We are now on page 570, Eitz Chaim Hi, Ruthann, if you please.
Eitz Chaim Hi, Lamachadikim Ba, B'tomcheha Meushar, Deracheha Darchei Noam, V'chon Netivoteha Shalom, Hashivenu Adonai, Elecha B'nashuva, Kadesh, Kadesh Yameinu, Kadesh Yameinu Kekedem.
We rise, Chatzi Kaddish, 572.
Yitkada v'yikada Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yamad Yivrach Yirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechanu v'yamechanu v'chayedecho Beit Yisrael. B'hagala, b'hagala, v'bizman kariv yimeru. Amen. Shemei Rabbah Mavorach. Le'olam olam me'amaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbar, v'yiramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha, berichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damiran bi'alma v'imeru.
Amen. We are on page 574. We'll start on the inside back cover in unison through the Kedusha, concluding silently.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagado Hagibor Banara El Elyon Gamel Chasadim Tovim Bekonei HaKol Bezocher Chaste Habot Umevika Well Livnei B'neihem Lema'an Shema B'Ahava Melech Ezer Foked Moshe Magen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Abraham Foked Sarah
Amen.
Ata Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechayim Metim Atarav Lehershia Mashiv HaRuach Yemerid HaGashem Mechalkel Chayim Becheted Mechayim Metim Berachamim Rabihim Samek Noflim Berofech Olim Umatir Asurim Mekayim Umanateli Shenei Afar Michamelcha Baal Gevurah Tumida Melach Melech Meimid Mechayeh Matzmiach Yeshua Ne'emana Torah HaChayet Metim Baruch Atah Adonai Mechayeh HaMetim
576. Kadeshim Habalam, Kashem Shemar Deshim Otov Bishmei Kakatu L'Anviyech, Al Kazel Zeyama.
Nekadesh Shemcha Ba'olam Kishem Shemakti Shimo Tabishmei Maram Kakatu Vayad Neviecha Yekara Zel Zebiamar
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzavaot, Machlaot Kivodo.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzavot, Malach Haaretz Kevodo, Le'omatam, Baruch Yameru,
Baruch Kavod Adonai, Nimkomo, Dirkachecha, Katu Lemo.
Baruch Kavod Adonai Mimkomo, V'direi Koshecho Katuv Le'mor,
Yimloch Adonai Leolam, Melachayich Tzion, Ledodo, Hallelujah.
Yimloch Adonai Le'olam, Elohayik Tzion, Le'dor Hallelujah, Le'dor Vador, Nagid God Lecha, Le'netzach Netzachim, Kedushak Techa Nagdish, B'shivacha Eloheinu, Mipinu Lo Yamush Le'olam Vahed, Ki El Melech Gadol V'kadosh Ata, Baruch Atah Adonai,
Shema.
Ha'el HaKadosh.
Amen. 578. Okay, Ruth Ann, I think we're ready to continue on page 596, Kaddish Shalem.
Yitkada v'yitkada shemei rabbah.
Amen.
Yama divrach yirite b'yamlich malchute v'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayedecho be'Yisrael v'agala b'zman kariv imaru. Amen. Yeheshme Rabba Mevarach Leolam Olam Elmaya Yitbarach Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitale V'yitala Shemed Kudusha V'yichu Le'lam Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tishbachata V'nachemata Damiran B'yamha V'yimaru. Amen. Tikabal Salotun Uba Utahun Dacha Yisrael Kadam Abahun Divishmaya Bimaru. Amen. Yehesh Lama Rabba Min Shemaya Belchaim Aleinu Bial Kol Yisrael Bimaru. Amen. Say Shalom Bimramaha Say Shalom Aleinu Bial Kol Yisrael Bimaru. Amen.
Leinu 596, 98.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo hatzanu kegoye haratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot hadama shelo sam chelkenu kahem v'gahara leinu k'chol hamonam v'anachnu karim Mishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. Ki hamalchut shelcha hi olamei timlok bechavod kakatu b'toratech Adonai yimloch le'olam vahed v'nehemar v'haya Adonai le'melech al kol haaretz bayam hahu yeh Adonai echad Ushemo Ushemo echad Ushemo
echad. Jay, is that your side to last night and today, Shabbat or Sunday? Jay Baraban.
Mazel tov.
When
Yeah,
is, oh, okay. He's not going to tell me. Does anybody
It's
know?
tonight and tomorrow.
Tonight and tomorrow. Okay.
And we're also joined this evening by Elisa Rothenberg. She's observing Yahrzeit for her mother, Beryl.
It's
And
not your side. She's saying Kaddish for.
I meant to say Kaddish, excuse me. And Shiva
okay.
and Hal and Ann are observing Yahrzeit for both of their mothers. Shiva for both of their mothers.
Okay. Elisa, on behalf of the Minhah and the congregation and the people of Israel, though it's Shabbat, we say, Hamakom Yenachem Etchem Betoch Sha'ar Avnei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. And I know that you will continue to draw strength and blessings from Mother's presence. And to Hal and his sister, is it?
No,
I'm sorry. Ann and Hal?
No, it's Ann is my wife, and we both lost our mothers.
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. When was the funeral, Ann and Hal?
Friday.
Friday.
Yesterday.
Well, certainly very fresh and painful. We wish you too, on behalf of the Minyan and the congregation. God is sure to comfort you and heal you among the other mourners of Zion and Jerusalem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Indeed, indeed. We recall those who gave us love, who shared life with us, who are with us to this very day and will continue to be with us, whose yortzeit is the 8th of Adar, Shabbat Zachor, February 20th, 2021. The following names are listed in our perpetual memorials and are inscribed in our hearts: Annie Arub, Lena Cohen, Reuben Goldberg, Minerva Katz, Danica Kerbel, Saul Kornstein, Jesse Mermelstein, Rose Pondfield, and Rebecca Wallach of blessed memory. And Anne, would you tell us your mother's name, please?
And go ahead.
Margaret
And what was her last name?
Harrison.
Margaret Harrison. And Hal, what was your mom's name?
Marilyn Walter.
Marilyn Walter. And Eliza, would you share with us mom's name, please?
Beryl Gottesman.
Beryl Gottesman. It was my honor to follow her and work together with her at in Randallstown and at the religious school. Yortzeit and Mourners Kaddish, page 600. Id Gadal, Kadash, Rabba, Be'amad, Ubrach, Yote, Malchute, B'chayachon, V'yamichon, Chayei D'chol Yisrael, Ba'galal, B'zman Karim, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam U'amaya. יתברך, ישתבח, ויתפאר, ויתרומם, ויתנשא, ויתהדר, ויתעלה, ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו. לעילם מכל ברכתה ושבתה, תשבחתה ונחמתה, דאמירם ואמן, יהי שלמה רבה משמיה, וחיים עלינו כל ישראל, אמן. עושה שלום במהרה, הוא יעשה שלום, עלינו כל ישראל יאמרו אמן. Ralph, a quick question. How long has it been since Mom passed?
It's my dad, and it's 6 weeks. 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Wow. It's so short, so long. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, Ralph is with us from Chicago, and Chicago is a little bit ahead, so he's going to drop out for the Arvit service because it's still Shabbos in Chicago. We wish you a sweet week and a sweet Purim even, and the hardships that we
Thank you.
Thank you. Love to your family.
Yeah.
Thank you. We continue with the Arvit service, and Jeff Platt is going to lead us on page 200. We rise, page 200, please.
V'hurachum yikaper v'lo yashib v'hir ba'ala shibar pavler kol chamato Adonai hashach melch yanenu v'yom karenu Baruchu et Adonai hamvarach
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
May be seated.
El Chai Bekayam Talmid Yimlach Aleinu Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Ata Adonai Amari V'Aravim
Amen.
Yehem Chayenu V'Arech Yamenu B'Hem Nego Yom V'Layla V'Avatcha Tasir Mimenu Le'olamim Baruch Ata Adonai Oheb Amo Yisrael
Amen.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shitecha b'beitecha Uvlechtecha b'derech Oshok Becha, Okumecha, Okshartam Liot, Al Yodecha, Behayula Totafod, Beinenecha, Uktavtam, Amizuzot Beitecha, Uvisharecha, Behaya. Leman yirbu yemechem v'mei v'nechem ahadama asher nishba Adonai lavotechem latei lahem kimei hashamayim al haaretz vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'amarta lehem v'asu lehem tzitzit al kanfei v'dehem l'dorotam V'natnu al tzitzit hakanaf b'til techele. V'haya lechem letzitzit ritem oto uzgartem et kol mitzvot Adonai v'asitem otam. V'lo tatu achrei levachem v'achrei einechem asher atem zonim achreihem. Leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kadoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem le'Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem. Adonai Elohechem emet.
Page 204, second paragraph.
Umalchuto baratzon kiblu alehem Moshe v'nei Yisrael chana shira v'simcha rabba v'yamru chulam mi chamocha oelim Adonai mi chamocha nedor b'kodesh norah tehilot osei feleh Malchut Ranecha Pokayam Lifnei Moshe Zeli Anu V'Yamaru Adonai Yimloch Leolam Va'ed Benemar Kipanayat Yaakov Ogalami Achazak Mimenu Baruch Ata Adonai Al Yisrael.
Amen. 206 at the top.
Ushimor Teitein V'Lechem Shalom E'ata B'Yad Olam Baruch Ata Adonai Omer Amo Yisrael
Amen.
Yen lanu melech elata, Baruch ata Adonai. Melech b'kvodo, tamid yimloch aleinu olam v'ed v'yal kol ma'asa.
Amen.
Yitkadav v'yitkadash me rabba.
Amen.
Yamad yirach yirtei v'yamlich machutei, v'chayechon v'yamechon, v'chayedecho be'Yisrael, v'agalav izman kariv imaru. Amen. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yitkadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudusha v'riach La min kol v'yachata v'shirata tushkata v'nechamata Damiran Biama Vimaru. Amen.
We continue with the Silent Amidah, page 210. Please remember that we are to recite the top paragraph on 212, the indented, smaller font, indented paragraph for Motzei Shabbat, top of 212.
Ose shalom bimromav, yase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yase shalom, shalom. Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael.
We continue with Kaddish Shalem.
Yitgadal v'yitgadal shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Yalmad yirach yirtei v'yamlich machutei v'chayechon of yomechon v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael v'agalav izman karivim aru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam le'amei amaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitraman v'yitnasei v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei l'kudashah Barichu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata Tushata v'nechamata Damiran b'yama v'imaru Amen. Yitgabal Slosan v'tahon l'kol Yisrael Kodana b'hon divi shmaya v'imaru Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imaru Amen. Ose shalom bimroma, huyase shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, amen. Aleinu v'shaveh.
Jeffrey, Abdullah. Hi, David and Elisa. Good to see you. We're right on time. I was going to say, for ritual directors, the shoot to Mars was very impressive, but to be able to do Havdalah exactly when Shabbat is over is a much more impressive act. There you said it. Maimonides tells us that Havdalah is Kiddush, and with the added Kiddush, we make now 3 Kiddushim on Shabbat, as we have 3 meals on Shabbat, and we celebrate and are saddened to see Shabbat go, and we welcome and embrace the new week with its challenges and its sacred opportunities. Savri Ma'anan, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei minei v'samim.
Amen.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei meorei ha'esh. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, ben or lechoshech, ben Yisrael la'amim, ben yom hashvi'i l'sheshet yemei ha'ma'aseh. Baruch Atah Adonai, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Hamavdil ben kodesh קודש לכל חטאותינו ימחול, זרענו וכספנו ירבה כחול, והכוכבים בלילה. שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, הגות תבוך, הגות תבוך, שבוע טוב, שבוע טוב, אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי, במהרה בימינו יבוא אלינו, עם משיח בן דוד, עם משיח בן דוד, אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי. A good gebencht Woch, Mazel Parnasse, nachas von der Kinder, the Einiglich stock market, you know the story. Aleinu 224. Aleinu
Shabeach Ladon HaKol, Latei Gedula Liotzer,
Bereshit Shalom.
Shelo Asanu Kegoye Haratzot, Velo Samanu Kemishpachot Hadama, Shelo Sam Helkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kecho Hamonam, Vanachnu Korim, Umishtachavim Umodim, Lifnei Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hakatu b'Toratecha, Adonai yimloch leolam va'ed, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yi'er Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, U'shemo echad.
Just to make sure, Anne, would you tell me again your mother's English name, please?
Margaret Harrison.
Margaret. And Hal, would you tell me your mother's English name, please?
Of course, Marilyn Walter.
And Aliza, of course, we know. Would you share with us, with everyone, please?
Beryl Gottesman.
Gottesman.
And actually, my brother is on. My brother Ben from New Jersey has joined us too.
Okay. Hi, Ben from New Jersey. We wish you a nechama, Yeshua, refuah at this time of trouble and sorrow. We recall those who gave us life, who shared life with us and are still very much with us. To our most recent mourners, for the families of Margaret Harrison, Marilyn Walter, and Beryl Gottesman, of course. And we recall again those who gave us life and shared life with us, whose name is in the memorial, perpetual memorials at Chizuk Amuno, whose yahrzeit is 9th Adar, Sunday, February 21st, 2021, Motzei Shabbat. The following names are inscribed in our hearts, in our souls: Sylvia Bernstein, David Baraban, Thomas Kaplan, Morris Cooper, Max Epstein, Charles Feldman, Simon Fleischer, Ruben Glazer, Frank Golumbek, Rachel Goodman, Norman Kleiman, Eileen Leash, Anthony Marsiglia, Denny Natkowitz, Nathan Natkowitz, Isidore Rodbell, Jack Rubin, Lena Schulman, Rose Simon, Marvin Steingart, Marion Strauss, Frederick Winner. Who are we missing, Jeffrey? We got everybody? Okay. Yahrzeit and Mourners Kaddish is on page 226. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בעלמא דברה חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ויומייכון חיי לכל בית ישראל. בעגלה בזמן קריב ימנו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולם לעלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתעשה, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי קודשה בריחו, לעילא מכל ברכתה ושפחתה ונחמתה תמירן ימה
Amen.
יהי שלום רבה ושמיה וחיים עלינו כל ישראל
Amen.
שלום
Shalom.
שלום עלינו
Amen.
שבוע טוב, a good Geben Shtvach. Ajay, a quick question for you. Can you do a full Chazara of the Amidah on weekdays?
Sure.
If you'd like, I get to
They can
daven
hear
on
you.
mornings, but if you'll be there and if you want to.
Tomorrow morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
that's
very
great.
good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're
You have
most
to close
welcome.
your mouth and speak up.
I wanted to take a moment. Ben Gottesman, we see you on the screen. We wish you a nechama, ינמכם המקום בתוך שאר אבלי ציון וירושלים. Beryl and Ben, would you share with us? If you need to go, please. Aliza and Ben, if you want to just share with us a memory of Mom. We're here, and if you need to go, and Anne and Hal, we'd love to hear from you a word about Mom that past week. Ben, you go first. But you need to unmute yourself.
That does make it better. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
So I'm trying to think of a specific memory, but maybe more. I think those of you who knew my mother knew she had dementia over the last few years, and we kind of had lost her a while ago. But one of the beautiful things that came out of all of this is how many people have been reaching out and say, she was my teacher, she was one of my favorite teachers. And I remember that as a kid growing up, that always, oh, you're Beryl Gottesman's son. Oh, she was, I loved her as a teacher. And boy, have they come out of the woodwork. Again, she really touched so many people. And it's now we're getting that reminder that the past several years have made it very hard to think about that side of her, but it's really it's been very hard.
Let me jump in for a minute. What's one thing you learned from your mother?
One thing that I've learned from my mother, I think kindness. I think really, as much as we had this beautiful Jewish household, she really cared for people, and that was very, very important to her. yeah, and just, looking to help others and not just be on top and, but always reaching out to people. And I'm not the person she was. I mean, she had the largest heart, but just, but I know it's there. I know the lessons are there.
Thank you, Ben. That's beautiful. Alisa, you get the last word here on Mom.
Well, so I had an interesting experience this afternoon. One of the many synagogues we seem to have connections with is Beth Am, and they had a program this afternoon on Dabru Emet, but there was a whole lot of conversation around ICJS, which at the time and what it reminded me of was I forgot how active my mother had been in ICJS and doing that type of programming. When she was involved, it was the Institute for Christian and Jewish Studies. Now I think it's the Islamic Christian and Jewish Studies Institute. It's a part of her that I really didn't know a whole lot about, except that she would talk about those programs. And it just was like, oh yeah, it reminded me of like a whole other sphere of people that she had touched.
Beautiful. Thank you, Alisa. Precious words. David, you knew Beryl, I'm sure. A word, a memory from you?
Well, of course, I first met Beryl at Shabbat morning services at Chizuk Amuno Congregation.
Right.
And I spoke last week during Shiva about you couldn't miss this elegant and graceful lady with her big hats. Thank you very much, Pam. Exactly right, and matching her clothes. And she stood out, and she sat up down in the front near the Goldners and all of those folks. And I got to meet her way before I met Elisa at Chizuk Amuno services on Shabbat morning.
Thank you, David. Thank you. I hope that we get to hear more of this extraordinary woman who led and served the Jewish people so much. And would you tell us a little about Mom, please, where she grew up and something you learned from her?
Me? Yes. Well, my mom had a very independent spirit, and she lived alone for over 20 years. My dad passed away, unfortunately, early, and she just kept going, and she didn't want to be a burden on anybody, and she had the best girlfriends. I mean, her relationships weren't wide, but deep. And I really admired that about her. And up until the day before she died, she was vibrant and full of life and stories. And I'm gonna miss her.
Sounds beautiful. Well, I promise you, you will sense and experience her presence every day of life. What was one of her particular interests, you think?
My one of her interests was antiques. She loved things that were old.
Wow. Okay. Sounds wonderful. Hal, would you share with us a little about Mom?
Sure. I guess when I think about my mother, the first thought that comes to mind is that she was a giver. She really lived her life wanting to do things for other people, especially her family, but even much more broadly than that. She was a founder of a charity called Us Against MS here in Baltimore, which provides a day program for adults dealing with MS. And it wasn't enough for her to found the charity and fund the charity. She participated in the day program every week to enable people to do the most that they possibly could.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I just want to point out that just the confluence of some small things. This Shabbat is Shabbat Zachor. Zachor is to remember. The prayer that we say for our loved ones, the El Maleh, is called an Azkara, the same word. And in the Parsha that we read, which according to tradition is the first Torah portion that we were to read regularly, is Parshat Zachor. And that Parsha ends up with Zachor al tishkach, remember, do not forget. we, the Jewish people, have come to the conclusion that memory is identity, and identity with memory are the instruments by which we overcome death, which cannot be denied, at least not for the time being. And so we come together. Memory can only occur when we are together. And from the jaws of Nazi Germany, through being alone and living in England and coming to America, our stories are not very much different. And yet we become stronger and we thrive and we overcome as we are together with tradition. And to all of you who are mourning, and you have such a special privilege, Anne and Hal, to share this sacred moment together and to support one another. It's a strange gift, you know, but nonetheless, there's beauty in that. I'm done. Purim is this Shavuot, and you know, we got to stick together. Somebody else said that. To all of you, please, if you go out, be extra super careful. And at last, and certainly not least, Phil Nachamovitz, your shining bright star and our alive. And we thank you and we love you. And
Hey!
caretaker.
We miss you. Hi.
Shavua Tov. And
Shavua Tov.
Lila Tov. Thank you, Moshe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Moshe.
Hey,